Hey, I'm doing a video series, and this is the third one, unpacking a blog that I did about the voices we hear as leaders. And if we're hearing voices, that's good, but which ones should we be paying attention to? As I said, this is the third one. We're talking about the owner's voice. We already talked about the staff's voice and how we listen to that and engage it, and clients or customer voices that come our way. What do we do with those as leaders? This is about the owner's voice, and I'm using that term broadly. It may be an actual business owner, or it may be shareholders or donors or board members, founders, the startup of an organization or a church plant, and it's the rising new pastor within that, or a leader in a nonprofit that's been around for a long time, or the family business. Whatever it is, there's people that have kind of an ownership role, either actually or by virtue of their influence or the role they play. How do we wisely and shrewdly listen to those voices and yet be able to sort of push back or drive things as a leader, not just whatever the owner says kind of thing? Because there's a time to maybe confront an idea or challenge an owner, or give some new data that you hope will influence the way they think about an issue or a decision, or a key hire or something like that. So the challenge is to balance our outcomes that we want with their expectations. Remember, they're owners. They have expectations. They're looking for certain things, and you may want to drive some outcomes, but be aware of their expectations. Always be clear about that. Also balancing your passion with their vision. I mean, you're a leader, you're building, you're striving, you're doing whatever it is you're called to do in your sphere of influence as a manager or as a teacher or whatever. And you have passion around that, but there's an overall vision coming from the ownership usually, and it may be a collaborative thing that works with you, it may not be, but you have to pay attention to that. You have to be in alignment, not just have passion, but have alignment with an owner. You got to balance your management with their muscle, is the way I like to say it. You can use your influence as a leader and how you guide others and how you achieve results and deploy funds and do all the things you do, making decisions and so on. You got to balance that with the muscle that an owner brings. You can't always do this yourself. You can't always even do this with your team. You sometimes have to go pull a lever over there in a good way. You have to leverage that relationship. It may mean talking to some board members for ideas or clarity. It may mean sitting down with the owner. It may mean talking to someone who's in a significant role and making sure that you're leveraging their influence, and what they bring to the table can really help you get the job done. And of course, balancing your budget management with their cash. If they're a true owner, they may have a lot to say about, of course, where their money goes, and they may allocate a certain amount to you. And if that's all you get, then that's what you work with. But sometimes you knock on a door and say, hey, here's what we'd like to do. We need some backing here from you, and it's got cash involved. And I've done that. Maybe you've done that. That's another, it can be awkward at times, but people who understand what you're doing and want to build something effective will listen. If it makes sense to them, they'll help you that way. So respect them, speak truth with grace, understand any fears or cautions they may have about directions you're going, any concerns about the organization or the culture or the business climate or whatever it is. Pay attention to their expectations again and concerns and things that are really important to them. Key principle then on this one: keep the owners informed, speak truth, and manage the tension between your role and their ownership. Again, keep them informed, speak the truth, and manage the tension. And I think you'll be wise here. Don't go rogue. Don't break trust. It's a quick pathway out the door. Stay connected to owners and listen to them. And what do they want real quick? They want honesty. They want correct data. They want to know really where things are. They want clarity about what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. So if they drop in to take a look around and they say, hey, how's it going? They don't mean, how's the ball game, last night that you watched? What they mean is, what are you doing and how's it going? And be always prepared to give a few quick, here's what we're working on. Here's who's doing it. Here's the outcomes we expect. Here's when do we want to get that done by. And they'll walk out of the room going, wow, that gal, she's got it. She's focused. So they want clarity on things. I find owners need some show and tell. Sometimes it's a tell, sometimes it's a show. They need both. Sometimes you got to walk them somewhere, so to speak. Even with technology, you can do that with your phone. You can show them something you're working on, not just talk about it. And sometimes they need to see it, not just hear it. And then lastly, just remember, they're going to look in your eyes for what they see in that. You can't snow job an owner generally who's been around the block. They'll know if you really mean what you're talking about, if you got it in your gut, if you see it, because they'll look in your eyes and they'll know. and make sure you've got that truth and that passion in your communication with them, because they'll know you mean business. So pay attention to the owner's voice. It's a tension you got to manage, but it's one that could be leveraged well for your benefit.